Well, hello again. I've got my pencil today because we are filling the gap and doing some pencil puzzles. Which, by the way, pencil puzzle just basically means a non-Sudoku puzzle. You can do Sudokus with pencil and paper, and we aren't doing these with pencil, so I'm not really sure why they're called pencil puzzles to differentiate from Sudoku, but that's sort of the term that's been applied. So there you go. Um, Now, before we get to the pencil puzzles, I just want to remind you that we're trying to get to 500 subscribers so I can release my latest puzzle hunt. And we're up over 450 now. We're making good progress, so I'm excited about that. And we want to get that puzzle hunt out. There may even be a prize for the person who finishes it first. So um, let's get to that 500 subscribers. And uh, today, the first pencil puzzle we are going to do is Snake Egg by Eric Fox. And just as a reminder, GAPP means genuinely approachable pencil puzzles. So these are designed to be sort of intro level, um, easy ones. If you've never heard of these puzzles before, that's great. These are the perfect puzzles to get started with. Some of these I have done before. These not these puzzles, but these genres. Some of them I have never even heard of, so it'll be fun to learn them together. And oh, we have some examples too. I'll forget if I don't say it right now, but I'm gonna right up here, right over there beside me. I'm gonna put some examples up of each of the puzzle types so that you can kind of see what you're doing. So this first one is snake egg, and let's put up the example. So we're gonna shade some cells to form a snake. You can see right over here. There's a snake that goes from the black dot up and around and over and back down to the other black dot. So we're connecting the dots. They are the ends of the snake, and the difference with normal snake puzzles and a snake egg puzzle is, as you can see, we've got these green eggs, as we're calling them. Inside, the snake is sort of wrapped around the eggs, holding the eggs. And the important thing is, so this one, the example one, is a 1 to 4 snake egg, and so you have to have uh, an egg of size 1, which is right there, an egg of size 2 up here at the top, an egg of size 3 down here at the bottom, and then right over there in the middle is an egg of size 4. So you have to have size of each of those. And if there's numbers in the grid, they have to be part of the egg with that number. So the 4 there is part of the 4-cell egg. The other important thing is, as usual, a snake cannot touch itself orthogonally. It can touch diagonally, as you can see in the example right over there, but it cannot touch orthogonally, so it can't fold back on itself. And that's it. That's all the rules. So this one is a 1 to 7 snake egg. So we're going to leave eggs of size 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7 in there. Yeah, there we go. I'm going to give this one a try now. Link in the description as usual. And let's see how it goes. Start the timer. So, I mean, we can obviously click the ends. We can, make the numbers parts of eggs. That part's easy to start with. The snake clearly can't start to the left because it's going to double back on itself here. So that's going to be part of an egg. Now, if the snake comes into here, it's going to hit the edge of the grid, have nowhere to go. So this can't be snake. So this is part of an egg. And now our 3-cell egg is done. So we can fill those in. Now, theoretically, this could be part of another egg, right? Because it's not connected to this egg. But if you do that, the snake's going to be coming down into here and get stuck and have nowhere to go. So this has to be part of the snake. And now we don't want to touch the other end already, because that would be a really short snake. So these are going to be parts of eggs. Now the snake is up here turned. It's going to have to turn and go up this way. Now this could be part of a 1-cell egg, but if that was the case, we'd have to have both of those as snake, and now we just have a really short snake that hasn't created any other eggs. So this has to be part of an egg, pushing the snake up there. Now the only way the snake can get over to this side of the grid is to come across the top above the 6 there. Now this where, right here we're not sure because it could go there with a 1, that could be our 1-cell snake egg up there. Or the snake could go that way. So I don't think we know that yet. I'm guessing these are going to connect to the 6, but they don't necessarily. Well, yeah, because it could be something like this, and then this could be our 2-cell egg. So yeah, I don't think we know that yet. These, we can fill in these because we can't branch off of the snake. So we've already got 4 of our 5 cells here. Oh, the fours. We can look at the fours. So up here, there's only, both of these have to be part of the 4-cell egg. And there's only a couple ways you can do that. I mean, we could go this way, but then it would be connected to the 7. So that's not going to work. So it's going to have to either come up here with the little zigzag shape or there. But if we do the zigzag, Tetris shape here, this is going to be snake. And how's that going to connect? There's no way. So this has to be the 4-cell egg. We can fill these in. Now, these can't really be parts of egg because, again, the snake's going to dead end right there. And same thing here. The snake would dead end. So those have to be part of the snake. Now, since the snake kind of hits the wall, it comes down here, turns, and hits the wall, it's going to have to turn again. And same up here. And now we can fill in egg because the snakes, we have to avoid touching the snake orthogonally. So we can do all of those. Now right here, if this was egg, the 6 and the 7 would be connected. So that's got to be snake. And again, since it's in a corner here, it's got to come into and out of the corner. So it's got to do that. So now obviously we can't go here because we're going to have it touching again. So it's got to go that way. That pushes down here. And, oh, actually, no, I was about to say this has to be egg, but now we have 6 cells in this 5-cell area, so that actually has to be snake. This is our 1-cell egg right there. So the snake's going to turn and come down. It can't double back on itself, so it's got to go here. The only way to get the 5th cell for the 5 egg is there. This now has to be snake. Fill all these in. We can finish the 6 now, which gives us the snake up there. This is 7, so those have to be snake. There we go. Solution is correct, and I'm going to fill in the 2-cell egg just for completeness there. But we have a 1-cell, a 2-cell, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. And our snake goes all the way around here. And there we go. Perfect. All right, so that was Snake Egg by Eric Fox. And now we're going to move on to our next puzzle. All right, so this is our next puzzle. This is a Yosenabe, which I think is probably how you pronounce that. It's a Japanese word, I'm pretty sure. And this one is by Freddie Hand. And Freddie makes great puzzles. Freddie is a very, very fast solver of puzzles. And I know I've had him look at quite a few of my puzzles in the past, especially pencil puzzles. He's good at Sudoku too, but he's just insane with pencil puzzles. So the times, like, some of his times I wouldn't even be able to click fast enough, even if I already knew the solution. So, but today we are looking at a puzzle that he made, not one he's solving. So, the way Yosenabe works, let's get our example on the screen here. Okay, so we're moving the circles. This is really interesting. So you start with all these circles in the grid and these gray regions. We're moving the circles into the gray regions. So you can see right up, let's go look at the one down here at the bottom. So this 2 circle moved to the left into that 2 region. Now the numbers in the regions tell you the sum of the digits that are getting moved into the region, if that makes sense. So at the top here, we moved a 1 to the right and a 2 to the left, and that 3 region now has a 1 and a 2, which sum to 3. On the far right, that 5 moved into the 5 region, and at the bottom there's a 1 and a 3, and that region doesn't have a number, which I suppose just means any total can be in there. Now the other thing that's interesting is the circles all have to move orthogonally, so like left, right, north, south, up, down, east, west, in a straight line. You can't go diagonally, you can't go over and down, and the paths are not allowed to cross or go through another circle. So, for example, the 2, no, actually, let's look at the 5 up at the top here. The 5 in row 2 cannot go straight down to the gray region at the bottom because it would go through the 1. And let's see, is there a good example of, I don't see a good example of a crossing one, but, oh yeah, the 5. So the 5 down here, you can see it moved to the right over into that 5 region. So now the 2 could not go down because it would cross the path of the 5. So, and that's all the rules on this one. So, link in the description, give it a try. I'm gonna see how it goes for me here. I'm gonna reset my timer, and here we go. So we've got, so as I would expect from Freddy, there's some good theming going on here. We have a Y-O-S-E in the grid for Yosenabe, and all of the regions are 12s, which is interesting. So, I mean, I can see looking at the numbers and knowing that all of the things are 12s, obviously the 4 and the 8 are going to have to go together. And the only place I can see that they can both go is this 12 right here. Now this 7 has no, it can either go to, yeah, it's got to go down here because we've already done the 4 and the 8 in this 12. So the 7's got to go down here. So now we need a 5 in there. There's 2 options. Right, but if this 5 goes across, where's this 5 going to go? Because it can only go, it can't go up now. It would cross something. Down doesn't get it anywhere. Left runs it into the 3. And right, this one's already full. So that 5 can't go over there. It's got to be this 5 that comes into the 12. Now, theoretically, the 7 could go down farther, but then it's going to trap that 12. So I think it's got to go there. And this one, the only option is to go there, which now forces this 5 down here, which works because we got a 7 there. This 12 could go up or to the left. Oh, this 3 has to go to the left, though. There's nowhere else for it to connect. And so now, right, so we need a 3 and a 6. And if we did this one, that 6 is, well, that 6 could still go up there. But then you're not going to have another 6 to go with it. So I think this 6 has to come down here. Yep, the 6's go together up there. The 7 and the 5 go this way. And then this 12 goes up to there. There we go. That was Yosenabe by Freddy Hand. That's kind of cool. I've never seen this before. I did not know this kind of puzzle existed. Now, this one is interesting because I'm trying to think if I've done any puzzle types before where you're moving the pieces as opposed to, you know, placing things or drawing lines, or pretty sure this is the only puzzle that I've seen where you're given parts in the puzzle that you have to move. As far as pencil puzzles go, obviously like physical puzzles, that's different, but that's really cool. That's interesting. All right, so moving on to the next one. All right, next up is Gems and Stones. This one is also by Eric Fox. Let's put our example up there. So the example here, we're going to place white and black circles into the grid. And we want each row and column to contain exactly one black circle. A cell may contain at most one. Okay, so you can't put a black and a white in the same circle, right? A clue outside the grid indicates the number of circles in the corresponding row or column up to and including its black circle from the direction of the clue. So let's look at the example. See if I can understand what's going on here. I've never seen this puzzle type before. Okay, so I see. So let's take the 3 at the top here in the first row. We can see as you go to the right, there's white, white, black. We're skipping the empty one, so it's the number of circles. So white, white, black. So the black is the 3rd circle. So up to and including, I guess, just tells us where in the order the black one is. And then in the second row, there's a 3 on the right side, so we're counting to the left now, to the left, because the 3 is on the right side. So circle, circle, white, white, black. Yep, okay. So I think that makes sense. The column 2 there, we have a 1 in the top. So the first circle you see is a black one. Okay, but there are white circles after the black one. So you can have others after the black, but the number is telling you the position of the black moving away from the clue. Okay. I think that makes sense. All right. So this should be interesting. Give it a shot. I'm going to give it a try. Let's see. Let's restart our timer. Okay, so this panel popped up, I noticed, and so this is going to let us do different types of circles. And I think you can also do, let's see, so the white is 1 and the black is 2. So I think if I type, oh, I think I can use my keys, and yeah, if I do a 1 or a 2, it puts that type of circle in there. So we can do it that way too, if you prefer to use the keyboard, or you can click in the grid and then choose a different thing on the panel. And all right, so there we go. Okay, well, I guess the 6 seems like an obvious place to start, right? Because there's only 6 cells in the grid, and the black has to be the 6th one. So we can fill in all the whites there. And now the 2 over here means we've got to have a white there to make the black the second one. Now, in the column up, for that column up above, this 2 tells us there's only one white, and in fact exactly one white circle above the black. But I'm not sure. This 1 here means we can't put a black cell at the bottom. Well, the 2 also tells us that, actually. So the only place we can put a black cell at the bottom is right here, in fact, because all of these are 2s. So that's a 1. That 2, and that 2 means that the column 1 is satisfied, essentially. We've done our 2 circles. We can't put any more circles in there. So I'm gonna use the other, this one, the dashed line, to mean no circle. Just to help me remember that. So the 4 here, 2, 3, 4. So we could fill into there, right? Yeah, because we can't put any more. Right, so we can also do, these can't be circles because we can only put 1 in each row and column. So they can have circles. That's not true. They can have circles. They can't have a black circle. They could have white circles. But for the 4, we can't put a black circle down here. So it's got to be right there so that we can get 3 whites above it. And now that 2 is also satisfied with the white and the black there. Okay, so the 2 down here means we need to have a white and then a black. We've already got the white. The black has to be above it, and it can't be right here. So that one also can't be white then. And it's the same with all of these, actually. Same thing, all of these 2s. Because we can't put a black in that row because we already have one. So one of them is going to have... Right, so... and these, you can't put a black circle in any of these 3 2s. You can't put a black circle in this first row. So the only place you can put a black circle in the first row now is this one. And now we've got the white and the black going up, and we've got the black going down, so these are all empty. Oh, the 3. So we can't put a circle there. So the only way we can make this one work is 1, 2, 3 being the black circle. That puts a white one there to give us our 2. And now we just have to finish. This is the last place that we can put a black circle. So there we go. Hooray, our solution is correct. All right, there you go. That was Gems and Stones by Eric Fox. That was a new one to me. That's interesting too. Pretty cool. Yeah, it's kind of... in some ways, it kind of reminds me of nonograms, where you're filling in, with the numbers on the outside of the grid. It's a little different, though, because this is giving you the position of one of the things as opposed to how many are connected in a row. But yeah, that was interesting. All right, on to the next one. All right, next up we have an Aqre by Shy. So this one, we're shading some cells. As you can see, we've got black and green over here shaded. So the shaded cells, the black areas, form one orthogonally connected region. So all the blacks have to connect. Regions with numbers must contain the indicated amount of shaded cells. So you can see like the 4 in the bottom left here, down in the solution, has 4 shaded cells in it. There may not exist a run of more than 3 consecutive shaded or unshaded cells horizontally or vertically anywhere. So I guess right down here, like in the 4 region, in the first column, we have 3 greens. So then where the number 3 is, we couldn't have another green. And likewise, we have 3 blacks at the top. So the number 4 there could not be black, because you'd have 4 in a row that are shaded. So that's interesting. It's an interesting rule. All right. So this is another genre I've never done before. I've heard of acres. I know it's a thing, but I've never solved one of these before. I didn't even entirely know the rules. So, um, give it a try. I'm gonna give it a shot now, and we'll see how it goes. Let's see. Restart our timer as usual. Well, I mean we can obviously fill in all of these twos, right? Because they have to have two shaded cells in them, so we can shade both. And the zeros we can shade green because they can't have any shaded cells. So that gives us a start. Now, what do we do next? I mean, I can see down here there's going to be, these are all going to have a one cell in between connecting them. Right, and because of the 3 repeat, you can't have more than 3 in a row rule. If we shade that one, for example, we'll have to have a green there, so it'll go down here. So it's going to do kind of a wave, I guess. It's going to go up and down and up and down, up and down. But oh, and the shaded all has to be connected to each other. So this too has to, escape from its little channel here. Same with this one. It's got to get out to connect to somewhere. This one is going to be connected to the right, so it doesn't necessarily have to come down. But now we've got 3 blacks in a row, both of those. And so now this 3 section here is going to have to connect to the rest somehow. So it's got to come this way. Now we've got 3 blacks in a row. 3 greens puts a black there. That's got to connect somewhere. Now we've got 3 blacks, so we can put green on both sides. Again, this has to connect somewhere. Green. It's got to come up. Now, if this is the shaded in the 1, then those 3 are going to be stuck there. So it's got to be green and black this way. This piece here has only one way to kind of get out to the rest of the shaded cells. This way, that gives us 3 in a row. We've got 3 blacks in a row. So now they've got to come down out of here, so it's got to go that way. And that's got to come down there, which gives us a green. Now we have to shade one of them in this box. These have to connect to the rest down here somehow, so it's got to come that way and down. And now we've got our 1 there. This one's got to get out to the rest, so this has to come down. That gives 3 in a row, gives us a green. Now, where do we go from there? Okay. Oh, over here. This little U shape has to connect to the rest, so it's got to come down this way. Now we've got 3 blacks in a row. These have to get out. 3 in a row again. There. Oh, we've got 3 greens in a row over here. Look at that. So this is a black. And now 3. Do we have any other 3 in a rows? Black. So these have to connect over to there somehow, which is going to be through one. Oh, we've got 3 greens here too, so that's a black. Oh, and so now we've got 2 and 1. We can't put another black one in between, or we'd have 4. So that has to be a green. This has to come this way. 3 blacks gives us a green. This section is separate, this black here, so it's got to come down to connect somewhere. It's got to go there. And now we're going to get our wave pattern through here. Gives us that. 3 greens and another green means we can't put a green in between. So that's black. It's got to come over here to connect to the rest. Same thing here. 2 blacks and a black has to have a green in between. Now one of these, the black's all connected, so this needs to connect, but it could connect on either side here, I think. So, oh, again, 2 blacks and another black. We can't put a black in between. We'd have 4, so that's got to be green. Now this part has to come down here to connect, and now the only way to connect to this top piece here is down through there. So there we go, complete. That was cool. That was a lot of fun. Yeah, I don't know what I thought Aqre was, but I've never done one before, and that's not what I thought it was, I guess. So I don't know what I thought it was, but it wasn't that. So that was neat. That's an interesting rule, the 3 repeating thing, and the way you end up with 2 and 1 with a gap, and so you can't, you can't fill the gap essentially. Um, Not a GAPP, a GAP gap. Um, all right, moving on to our final puzzle. All right, our final puzzle for today is a Shakashaka by Jovial. And I have never solved one of these, but I have seen people post things about these, and it just looks like an insane puzzle. So let's look at the example. As you can see, I mean, it just looks crazy. You're making weird angled rectangles, and I don't know. Anyways, let's see if we can figure out the rules here. So shade a right triangle in some empty cells. Okay, so we're putting triangles. As you can see, so we're kind of, it's weird because you're placing triangles, but you're making rectangles and squares, which a square is a rectangle. But you're so you're shading, as you can see in each cell, there's a right triangle on pointing at one corner. All right, so anyways, each unshaded area must be rectangular in shape, okay, which obviously squares count too. A number in a cell represents how many of the 4 cells orthogonally adjacent to the clue contain triangles. Okay, so as you can see, the 0 there in the middle has no triangles connected to it orthogonally, which is why there's those dots saying basically I can't put a triangle in here. And then the 3 over there has 3 triangles, which in this example puzzle, 3 is the most it could have anyways, because the 4th side is shared with the edge of the grid. And so then, yeah, I don't know. All right, we'll see how this goes. I'm assured it's genuinely approachable, but this seems like nonsense to me, drawing triangles to make rectangles. Sounds like a lot of fun, though. When I say nonsense, I don't mean like that it's bad. I think it sounds like fun. Uh, it just seems crazy. Okay, let's see what we can do here. So restarting the timer. Well, okay, so the 2's in the corners have to do this, right? Like that's the only way they can have anything. And now, and that gives us, so this has to be part of a rectangle. And so I feel like we have to do that in order to make a rectangle, right? That gives us our 1 there. And then if we keep going this way, the 2 is going to get stuck inside of this, so it's got to go that way, which gives us our 2 there. Now, is it going to be? It's going to be the same way all the way around the grid, isn't it? Because it's a genuinely approachable pencil puzzle, so they're making it a little bit easier on us, which is very kind of them, especially since I've never done one of these before. Okay. Oh, and now we've got our 2 there. So now the trick is filling in the middle, right? Okay, so I mean, we've got, this is kind of, these 2 dots here are starting to form a rectangle. Now, it could get really big, right? But we've also got one forming up here where this dot is, and those 2 cannot be part of the same rectangle. And so I think we have to do that in order to make those be in different rectangles. And now this one, I think, yeah. So if we extend this dot to the right, we'd have to do that, right? If we make this bigger. And now that it's 2, it's going to have to be 3, because there's no way we can, yeah, it won't even let me do that, actually. There's no way to do, you can't angle across here. So it would have to be all 3, but then we'd have to have some sort of a triangle in here, which would create problems. So we actually can't do that. So this has to be just a single cell going that way. And now this is the edge of a new rectangle that's going to have to do that. And that's okay, because this one's not touching the 2. It's touching the triangle that is also touching the 2, but it's not touching the 2 itself. And now we've got the same problem right here. These are sort of 2 separate rectangles that can't connect. So we've got to put a piece in between there. And we can do the same thing. It's going to be the same all the way around the grid, like before. Same deal here. And here, and here. And so now we've got Yep. Yep, like this. Same thing down here. This goes this way. This one goes like that. And now we just have to finish off the middle, which, I mean, this has to be the edge of a rectangle, right? And so once we get to a corner, it's got to go this way. And this one, now it could go all the way down and connect to here potentially, except these are going to need to do the same thing. So we get there, and now this is like two crossing rectangles. So what we need to do is fill in the middle. There we go. Complete. Huh. And that solution just looks like just insane to me with all these you're taking a square grid, putting in triangles and creating rectangles. That just, yeah, crazy. All right. That was really cool though. I enjoyed that a lot. Yeah, I'm gonna have to go do some more Shakashakas. That was interesting. All of these have been very interesting actually. Um, but that was just kind of that's quite different. All right. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed those pencil puzzles. Let me know how you did with them. Did you think these were genuinely approachable? Did you think they were too hard? Did you not understand the rules? How did it go for you guys? And also let me know if these were new puzzle types to you or not. If Were you familiar with these? Am I the only one that's never heard of these? I don't know. I'm just interested in to know what people are into and what you know. All right. Anyways, subscribe. We'll release the puzzle hunt. And don't forget to check out Rank's stream on the 20th. I'm going to guest solve on his stream. So that's all I got for today. I'll be back soon with some more puzzles. Thanks. Bye.